Okay, so today we're going to be talking about your Vedic astrological chart and what happens when you have Sun in the 11th house and it is your Arudha Lagna. And this is going to be good because in this video, we're really going to be making a distinction between just whatever house we're looking at and what happens if you've got an Aruda, if that particular house is your Aruta. So if you're not familiar with what an Aruta Lagna is, you can go to, well, let me put it up here. You can go to astrology.thunderwizard.com, which I believe is, there you go. You can go there to astrology.thunderwizard.com and get yourself a reading from either me or one of my certified apprentices. And this is one of the main things we focus on. And so let's talk about, if you're not familiar with what an Aruda is. If you are, just, you can fast forward past this. But so the Aruda Lagna is the mount of the Lagna. Aruda means mount. Lagna means screwed into place. It comes from the same root word as lug nut. If you've seen those things, like houses have big giant lug nuts, when they pour the foundation and then they start putting the giant wood beams on there, you'll see these big giant screws sticking up in a big screw. That's a lug nut. There's little ones and big ones. Lug is that same root from lagna, because English and Sanskrit are the same language, just removed by thousands of miles and thousands of years. So the lagna is your rising sign. In Vedic astrology, we use your rising sign as your sign, not your sun sign. Sun sign is important, and you can make any sign, whether it's the moon sign, sun sign, Jupiter sign. You can make any house the first house and do a chart from there. Western astrology has chosen to do that. We don't do that in Vedic astrology because the sun sign doesn't change for 30 days at a time. So you're not exactly the same as every single person that was born in that huge 30-day period. It's an important part of your chart, but it's not your personality. Your personality is your rising sign. That changes every 15 minutes. It's a very clear snapshot. When you were screwed into place, you were screwed into place with a specific sign that was looking at you from the eastern horizon, and that gave you some glasses that your soul looks through. So if you're born a Leo like I am, then that means you see the world from the glasses, from the viewpoint of a Leo. And the Aruta is the mount of the Lagna. So there's all different kinds of Arudas, but you can have the Aruda of the third house and all those kinds of things. But the Aruta of the Lagna is the mount, the vehicle that takes the Lagna, the rising sign, the personality. It takes the personality to its highest and most prosperous expression. And so the reason why I'm harping on this is because there's a difference between, in some Arudas, especially this one, when you have just, sun in this house or sun in that house or Rahu in this house or whatever. And this is one of those cases because the Aruda is actually what you are going to make your fame in this world, your prosperity, especially when it comes to your job and your career and your success. And this is how it works. A lot of this is coming from the ancient scriptures, and it's also coming from doing these kinds of Vedic astrological readings for years and what it's done in my life. I have focused on my Aruda, hyper focused on it, and I have used it to gain a lot of success that I did not have all throughout most of my adulthood. So the Aruta is called also the reflection, because it's not your true self. Your true self is your rising sign. That's how your soul is experiencing things. The moon sign is also very important. The moon is your mind and your emotions. So the moon has its own experience. So you're a combination of things, but where your moon is and where your rising sign is, That's where a lot of your experience of yourself is going to be. But how people see you, when you walk in the room, they see the reflection of you. They see what bounces off of you. And you're not aware of that. It's like, if you go to a frat party and somebody takes, a marker and draws, some pornographic symbol on your forehead and people are laughing at you, you're like, what? But they're seeing something you don't see because the light that's bouncing off of them is showing the funny picture on your forehead. You have a spiritual gift, a power, a superpower that you have gained over many lifetimes, and you still have an ego attachment associated with it. And so the universe has said, hey, listen, you have this gift that the universe benefits from. So I know you have ego about it and you're a little uncomfortable about it or shy about it or you don't understand it. So what we're going to do is we're going to set it up so that in order for you to get the most out of life, you've got to get out of the way, get over yourself, and just let that part of you shine. So that's important to know, because when you have an Arudha that, let's say, is normally not a good thing, let's say, for instance, you've got, what do I want to say? I've said this before. Let's say you've got Rahu and Mars in Scorpio in the 8th house. Well, that would be like you are this major hardcore black magician and you deal with the dark, deceptive, then that necessarily isn't necessarily a good thing unless it's your Arudha. If it's your Arudha, it means you've learned this so that you can share it with the world, and the thing to do is to be open about it. So normally you'd say, hey, you got to watch out for that guy. He's a black magician. He's devious. You just got to be careful. You really got to watch out for that guy. But if it's your Arudha, then you actually go out and you dress, in all black, and you put black eyeliner on and maybe put a tattoo on your forehead of a skull or something. And you walk around with a skull and incense and you say, yep, I'm a black magician. And you laugh about it and people go, that guy, he's such a character. I really like him. This is one of those instances because Sun in the 11th house, it can be problematic because the 11th house is a house normally it's the original house of Aquarius, the 11th sign, which is a Saturn sign. Now, Saturn and Sun don't always get along, and this is one case where that's the case. Because the 11th house and the 11th sign are signs of success, so that's good. But they're also a sign of humility because the 11th sign is a sign of cooperation. The Aquarian age is defined by people who have their own life, their own service that they give, but they are also in cooperation with other people. The Aquarian age is very much in line with bartering. People who hate banks and hate money, they are very Aquarian minded. They will say, we got to get rid of money and we just got to barter. Meaning that, I'm a plumber, so I need some food. So I'll tell you what, you slaughter one of your goats for me and I will do the plumbing in your bathroom in your house. It's barter. Truth is, that's all that money is anyway. And, even people who barter can end up, there's still politics and all that. So as great as it sounds to get rid of money, which I'm not against, still people can still abuse the barter system. It's no different. Money is just a symbol of the exchange of energy. But the Aquarian sign is a sign of an exchange of energy, and you have worked very, very hard and worked through your karmas in the 10th sign of Capricorn. And then the 11th sign is, as a result of all of your hard work, you now understand what it is to be a good human and to respect others and be a community. Now, why is that a problem for the Sun? Because the Sun is the king or the queen. And what does the king or the queen do? They make proclamations. They give commandments. They don't cooperate. They have a council of wise people who sit around and tell them what's a good idea or not. And ultimately they say, all right, but I'm going to do this anyway. They like to be in the 10th house because the 10th house is the house of hard work and they love working hard and success and all that, but that's like on the throne. The 10th house, you're sitting on the throne. The 5th house is also sitting on the throne, but that's when, you know, the king or the queen is sitting on the throne enjoying the dancers and they're having a party and everybody's coming over to hang out. But this is when they're sitting on the throne and they're making a proclamation. Off with their heads. Let's go to war. I impose a tax. This is the law of the land and I command this. The 11th house is a house of networking. So being an Aquarian sign, it wants to get away from the elites and say, hey, the masses have worked their butts off and now they get to be equal. This is a sign of equality. And the sun isn't like, I'm not equal with anybody. You know, I'm above all of it. Especially if the sun is in a sign that doesn't make him happy, you know. Then he gets angry and he's cranky. And so what ends up happening if it's not your Arudha is that you can alienate people because it's like the king, the sun, super bright. He comes out into the world with, you know, hanging out and interacting, and he's sucking up all the light out of the room because he's the sun. So it ends up making people uncomfortable. People, you know, and he's, you know, networking is, you know, I give you this, you give me that, and that's not what the sun does. The sun makes proclamations. So this is kind of an uncomfortable place for the sun normally, but this is your Aruta, this is your mount. So the universe has said, you've got an issue when it comes to networking. You tend to suck up all the air out of the room. And so we now need to help you stay humble. So the thing is, it's still your power. This is how you're going to make it in the world. So normally, when a salesman, let's say a salesman goes out to network and he goes to whatever, some sales conference, and he's going to network with a bunch of other, you know, suppliers and salesmen and outlet stores and all that. And he makes deals, and I'll do this for you and you do this for me, and he gets a bunch of clients. Well, this would be like the salesman coming in and saying, okay, here's the deal. I'm going to have monopoly on this and you do that. And, you know, there's a bunch of people at somebody's, you know, little outlet there, and he'll just knock everybody out and say, hey, I got business, so get out of here. Okay, here's the deal. I'm going to be your only client and you're going to give it to me for this price. And so that's normally what happens. It's just, you know, the sun is trying to network and he doesn't do that very well. But when it's your Arudha, it means that when you walk in the room, people see you as this incredibly bright light that sucks up all the light out of the room, that's looking to do a deal. So in this case, it would be like, let's say, you know, it was a Hollywood agent, like the most powerful Hollywood agent. We don't have agents like we used to. You know, when I was an actor, an agent was a huge deal because you only had TV and movies. So let's go back to that era. Imagine that kind of an agent. And that agent walks in the room and says, okay, so here's the deal. I've got this exclusive with Sylvester Stallone, and he's the only person that does these kinds of movies, and I'm going to do this. And so he doesn't network. He just goes around but he's extremely successful. And so everybody wants to, you know, write a movie, and the studios really want to get his clients, and they only come through him. So he's a networker, but he is king of the networking in the movie industry. This is what you are going to be looked at. You're going to be looked at the king or the queen of networking. And yes, all the other underlings are going to be mumbling under your breath, and they're going to be jealous, but they're going to wish they were you. And God, she's great. Oh man, you're such an amazing. And then when you're not looking to taking all the clients and getting all the work and blah, blah, blah. So normally it's a bad thing unless you are really, really good at what you do. So here it's like you excel at networking, and it means that you have the potential to be very successful. At the very least, you look that way. So what the Arudha is your success, and it is not you. So you may say, but listen, I'm not that guy. I really, really like to, you know, be an equal partner. I really don't like having the limelight and taking away other people's oxygen out of the room. I really hate that, and I've been trying to avoid that. Well, here's the problem. When you have an Arudha and you fight with it, you end up bringing out the dark side. So let's say somebody's like that. they're actually very humble, and they really believe in equality, and they're not here to just take all the deals from everybody. And so they try really hard, and so they walk around looking all humble and, oh no, you first, no, you first. What'll end up happening is that people will see that the sun is burning and angry. You'll walk in the room and they think, oh, he's going to take all the clients, and then you don't take any clients, and they go, hey, what's going on with this guy? He must have something up his sleeve, because he's not being honest. At least if he were honest, I could respect that, but he's not. So, and then people just stay away from you. So you'll be very unsuccessful. You think, but I'm following all the rules. I'm supposed to be cooperative and all that. This is how you make it in this business, and it's not working. And what the hell? Well, that's because the universe has said, no, you are supposed to take credit for this. You're supposed to be the king of networkers, the person who has all of the success and has all the connections, and you've got the viral YouTube channel, and your Twitter account is going through the roof, and stop. This would be the kind of person, if they're fighting with their Arudha, they would come on and make a video, and it would immediately get 10,000 views, and they're like, oh no, I don't want to be one of those people. Too bad. That's who you are. That's how the world needs and wants to see you. So you need to make a costume, and you need to go out in the world, whatever that is, the king of networkers, the queen of networkers, however they dress. You got to dress that way. You got to present yourself that way. And when you do it and you own it, people will love that about you, and that will be your success. It was definitely the case for me when I embraced my Arudha and I really let it out there. Then I started having success right and left. But up until that point, I was always banging my head against a brick wall, and it didn't matter what I did, because I tried not to look like what my Arudha is. And you've heard me say it a billion times, so I won't repeat myself ad nauseum. So that is my analysis of the sun in the 11th house as the Arudha Lagna. Again, if you're a Western astrology user, you won't know what this means, and don't try and apply it to Western astrology. It won't work, because Western astrology and Vedic astrology are on two different zodiacs. There's a 24-degree difference, and so don't even bother trying. But if you don't know what yours is, you go to astrology.thunderwizard.com, and this is one of the things we focus on. And I can guarantee you that if you live your Arudha and just when you're in public, let everybody see it, you will be much more successful if you're struggling with success. And if you want to see all of the other things I've got going on, you can go to thunderwizard.com. If you want to learn Master Shamanism, you can click on also the Manifestation Mastery course. If you want to learn how to manifest your intentions and turn them into reality, that's at thunderwizard.com. Neo.thunderwizard.com are the 4 basic tools that you have to have if you want to learn how to live in the matrix and have the matrix serve you. Courses.thunderwizard.com is all of my books, all of my DVDs, all of my video teachings, all of my services like astrology and rune readings and career consultations. If you give me an hour and you don't know what it is you need to do in order to be successful, I can help you figure out, if you give me an hour, I can figure out what it is that your soul wants to do, that if you go do that, even if it's never been done before, you will have all of the wealth you need to be able to live your true life. A true career is when the universe pays you for being your authentic self. And I mean that in the most literal way. Just being your true authentic self and just simply putting it on a business card and putting a price tag on it. I guarantee you people will pay you to be your true self. I do it all the time. I don't have a job. I don't work. I do only what I want to do and what makes me happy, and people pay me for it. That's the way it is for everybody. But most of us don't know what that is. And also, please hit the subscribe and at the bell button if you want to know whenever I'm going to upload a video, if I haven't uploaded your Arudha video yet. That's it for me, my friends. I will see you in the by and by.